Hi, Geno Perez Adventures. I'm still Geno. This is Bill. And this is for all you people out there that don't believe internet dating works. Not only did it work for me, it worked for Bill, and I'm going to let him share that with you. Morning, Bill. How's it going?
It's going good, Geno. We live in Colombia. It can't ever be bad, can it?
No, sir. Not even the worst day is better than the best day where I used to live.
Exactly. Yesterday was terrible. We had rain for about 12 minutes.
Yeah, wasn't it awful? Cool it down, make everything pretty.
Yep.
So give us some of your experiences. How long you been here?
Excuse me. I've been here 12 years. I also met my wife online after about 5 years. So my story might be a little longer than others because I essentially dated for 5 years. I was on probably, I think, 3 internet sites and quite active on them. There's a lot of talk which I don't think is accurate. There's a lot of talk about ulterior motives that the women have here, the girls have here. And yes, there is some ulterior motive, but I think if the guys use common sense and follow their gut as much as their heart, there's a good chance that you can find someone here that will be a good companion for you for the rest of your life. I know I believe that. Yeah, well, I'm very happy with Alba because, to me, she's physically attractive, but she's more attractive on the inside, and there are ladies like that. I hear stories. I read one, maybe it's less than a month ago, a year ago, and I remember it well because it involved a Canadian. If you come here to meet someone, you have to use common sense. And this fellow was 61 years old. He was a university professor, married, and he's salsa dancing in Cali at 2:00 in the morning. And
that's not a good thing.
Well, the girl took him supposedly back to her place, and it ended up somewhere. I don't want to say down an alley, but 3 guys met them, and he ended up robbed and then murdered. So,
wow.
Here's a university professor that's intelligent enough to rise to that level as far as work is concerned, but he has no common sense. So those sorts of things happen. I mean, even when I was single, I was generally in my apartment by 6:00 at night. I wasn't out very much. And if I was out at all at night, it would be local. My first year I was in Rodadero, which is Santa Marta, right on the sea. So there's a lot of activity at night. But the only way I would go out at night generally, was with a date. And you're with a Colombian. Now, the one thing I will say there, I haven't experienced it here, but Colombian guys don't like gringos with Colombian ladies. Now, that's a general statement. And yes, there are ladies that are looking for money. And, if you've had a miserable life on the edge of poverty, of course you'd be looking for money. So basically, to summarize, you can find really genuine ladies here for good companionship for the rest of your life. Age is not a huge factor. I mean, my wife's 20 years younger than I am, but at this stage of my life, she's perfect for me, and age doesn't seem to be a factor. So I would recommend anyone coming here to get on the net. There's a lot of nice ladies there. There may be a language barrier, but you can always use Traductor, Google, and translate it into Spanish if you need to, and then come down. And you don't need to be down here for 4 months. You can come down for 10 days or a couple of weeks. And at the same time, you can check out Colombia to see if Colombia is for you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'll give one more stupid story. On my other videos, I tell people, just don't be stupid, and you'll be fine. I mean, it's just like anywhere. You could be stupid on the internet in the United States and get killed too. But for example, this guy in Bogota, young guy, he was a young guy. He was, I'm not young, but he was in his 40s or 50s, and he should be smart. And this gal he was going to meet him she was at her house in some barrio. And the people at the hotel said, don't go. That's just a horrible barrio. Don't go. And he didn't believe him, and he went. And when he got there, she says, well, why don't you take a shower? And so he thought he was going to get lucky. He gets in the shower. They steal his clothes, his passport, because he was carrying his passport, all his money, beat him up and throw him in the street.
Yeah.
And didn't kill him, but the neighbors had to take care of him and get him back to the hotel. But that's just nothing more than stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you just have to pay attention. But you're right. I mean, I keep telling them, I use LatinAmericanCupids.com. There's ColombiaCupid.com. I don't know what other ones you were on.
Amo Latina.
Amo Latina. Hadn't heard of that one.
Yeah.
And they're really good sites. I mean, I really enjoyed them. And my wife is 6 or 7 years younger than I am. And
yeah.
You know what I learned, what I had to learn how to do, Bill? I had to learn how to be taken care of. I've battled these women all my life in the United States, and they were always, I don't know. It just always seemed like a freaking battle having to defend yourself. And finally, one day, Maria told me, she said, Geno, I'm not like that. You don't have to defend yourself all the time. And she takes care of me like a 5-year-old. And you know what? I love it. I mean,
well, yeah, Geno, the one thing I will say to qualify that is family here in Colombia is huge. I mean, that's the number one value. I mean, the one thing I can tell people is never get between a mother and her son in Colombia, because there's no way that you can win. There's absolutely no way. And so I think in a marital situation, you basically become family, and that's the way you're treated.
Yeah. No, sometimes the siblings are resentful, but they get over that too, because they see their mom happy and she's doing well. They get it.
Exactly. They
get it.
Yeah, I think it's and the other thing I will say is, when you come here, you better have your neck on a swivel, because there is, I don't want to say millions, but everywhere you look, there is attractive women.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I mean, I'll tell you a story. Here in San Miguel, I dropped Maria off at La Vivienda to go to the ATM. And when she does that, I cruise about an 8-block area. So I don't, because there's no parking. And I mean, it's all you can do to keep from crashing your freaking car, looking at all of the beautiful women that are on the streets. And I mean, there are short ones, fat ones, tall ones, skinny ones. They're not all beautiful, but 90% of them are. So
yeah, and something else is what I found is they really take good care of themselves. Like, they get their teeth done. That seems to be the first thing. Then they usually do what they call here body sculpturing, which involves surgery and silicona and those sorts of things. But they're always made up. Their hair is beautiful. They dress well. They dress very sexy.
Even the poorest of the poor look good.
And Geno, I don't know where that money comes from. Like, excuse me, body sculpturing here is probably 20 or 25% of what it is in the United States. but for some of these people, it's still 2 or 3 years of income.
Yeah.
So, take 2 or 3 years of income in the United States, take a year, for somebody making $40,000. I mean, how do the people here afford it? But somehow they do. So, you in general terms, you don't really have to be embarrassed to be seen with any of them, because
Ever.
even some of the
Ever.
ones that you would say are kind of normal looking, they look after themselves the best that they can. So whenever you see them, they look their absolute best. I mean, it's just something, I think it's cultural. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, my wife they look good around the house, and in the States they would just jump in the car and go to the store. No, not Maria. She's got to go take a shower, put her makeup on, put some fresh clothes on, and okay, now we'll go to the store.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just a whole nother thing. And you know what's awesome too is the level of respect that everybody has for everybody, and the simple sayings like, when you greet somebody and you want somebody and they go, hágame el favor, would you do me a favor? Who the hell says that in the United States or Canada? Nobody.
Yep.
So it's pretty awesome.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome, Bill. So
yeah, I would recommend it to anyone. Give it a try. I mean,
sure.
I mean, you don't have to get involved in a lot of money on these sites. A lot of the things and the contact that you want to do are absolutely free. So give it a shot. But the one thing I would say is just use common sense. Go with your gut. That's
great, Bill. Well, yet another great video. So thank you very much, and I'll sign us off. And as always, stay on. Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
I will. Thank you. Thank you for your input. So there we go. Again, today is the first day of the rest of your life, and if you don't change something today, look at your life today, and it will be the same in 5 years if you don't change something. So nothing changes, nothing changes. So with that, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, notification bell. And I need to say this, I've been getting some incredible support recently from people all over the world. I want to shout out to Renee in Belgium. I want to shout out to Mark in Bogota. Thanks for your help. I really appreciate it. It really goes a long ways, and I will pay it forward. So with that, I'll sign off. Geno signing off. We're out of here. See you on the flip side.